reporting its second quarter results and giving a forecast as well. The forecast seems to be disappointing. I'll get to the details on that in a minute, but the shares are down a quick 3.5%. The company's second quarter AWS net sales rising, excluding currency effects, by 19%, coming in at $26.28 billion. That better than estimated. Earnings per share at $1.26, beating by 22 cents a share, and the operating margin coming in ahead of estimates as well. Physical stores net sales a little light of estimates at $5.21 billion, but North America net sales overall at just over $90 billion, beating estimates. So that is the second quarter. Moving to the third quarter forecast here, the company says net sales will be in a range of $154 to $158.5 billion in the third quarter. That leaves the midpoint of that forecast lower than the $158.4 billion that the average of analyst forecasts was looking for. Operating income as well, this a little more clearly below estimates. Third quarter operating income, the company is saying, will be $11.5 to $15 billion. Analysts had been predicting almost $15.7 billion. So that explains the drop that we are seeing in the shares in today's session. And by the way, the stock was already down 1.5% in today's session, as it has definitely participated in the broader tech sell-off that we have seen. I'm just looking here. The stock was at a record high back on July 2nd. It closed there, and it's down 8% since then, going into this report, Josh.
Well, when you look at the broader market action and sort of a bias to maybe rotate out of large cap tech, truly, I think you get a clear reason, at least on the initial print here, for investors to say, okay, if I was waiting on that report today, Amazon didn't do nearly as bad today as some of the other mega cap tech stocks leading into the report. Maybe some people waiting to see what we hear. Now you get the news that sort of confirms maybe part of that rotation. The guidance you pointed out is going to be interesting to hear more on the call from Amazon. Obviously, when you talk about Amazon's net sales, they sell a lot of different things, and sort of what they're concerned about, I think, might be the most interesting thing to me, because there are different reads you can get from Amazon in terms of ad sales, in terms of the cloud business, in terms of the overall U.S. consumer. We were just talking about kind of the state of the overall economy here, and there is sometimes a read through from Amazon's earnings report and commentary on the call with what they're saying about just what people are buying. A lot of us buy things on Amazon every single day. Are they seeing any slowdown in that kind of sales? Where is the sales slowdown coming from, I think, is the biggest question. And usually the street cares if it's coming from something like AWS.
Right. It's a good question. Andy Jassy, the president and CEO, saying in the statement, really emphasizing we're continuing to make progress on a number of dimensions, he says, but perhaps none more so than the continued re-acceleration in AWS growth. Now, as I mentioned, that growth was about, 19% in this last quarter. So we'll look for any kind of guidance to see if that is going to continue, if that's going to accelerate more, and what part of that guidance, to your point, is from AWS in particular. It's not in the statement, but we well could get some color on that from the call.
And the other question here, too, is just how much they're spending, right? That's been the key question with all of these tech companies. It comes up on the call every time. How much are you increasing CapEx? You're going to be spending more in AI. Why am I not seeing the spend in AI come back in things like revenue or things like margins or operating income, is sort of the broader question here, and one that they're obviously going to, or analysts are probably likely going to ask about on the call. But I think that's one of the key looming questions here with that AI narrative, because we have to mention AI.
Yeah, I mean, he mentions generative AI in his statement as well. He talked about it leveraging new generative AI opportunities. So we'll get more on that, I am sure.